we're going to kick off, and I'm going to tell you some things right from the beginning that are going to startle you, going to absolutely startle you. Some of you have heard it before, but anyhow, you've got to, I mean, if you're not able to handle mature stuff and adult stuff, then you want to get out of here quick. Okay? Everybody's staying, so then don't blame me, because I told you in advance. All right. No, it's going to be okay. But let me show you. Let me give you an idea of what we're looking at. Come up here with me for a minute, okay? Let me show you what we're talking about. The mystics, the ancients who taught before the Bible was ever written, says the power of God, whatever you want to call it, rests within you. Okay. And that it's stimulated by the pineal gland of the brain, which opens up the right hemisphere of the brain. It comes through a vibration up the spine, which is on the back. Obviously, most of your spines are on the back. And it moves to 7 chakras. They call them chakras. These are actually psychological centers. That means that if a doctor was to operate on your back, he wouldn't find the chakras. They'll say, well, that proves they aren't there. Well, if the doctor is to operate on your brain, he wouldn't find your thoughts either. But doesn't mean they're not there. You know doggone well they're there. So what we're talking about now is an energy inside of you that moves up the spine and lights up the right hemisphere of the brain. Now, many of you have gone to church all of your life. You've gone to Christian churches all of your life, and you've been told that your name should be written in the book of life. Is that right? All right. If you're in the book of Revelation, go to the book of Revelation chapter 5, and let's just start today and take a look at this. Revelation chapter 5, and let the Bible define for you the book of life, okay? What page is that on? 1005, okay? All right, you're at Revelation chapter 5. Now come with me here, let's take a look at it. And I saw in the right hand is always used to signify God because it's talking about the right hemisphere of the brain. Of him who sat on the throne, which is the higher consciousness, a book written where? Within you. Where? And on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. Now, there is the greatest description of what they call kundalini, or those which call the activation of the chakras up those 7 seals. But yet, Christianity has never acknowledged that anything like that exists. And it is the foundation of all of the ancient religions, and it's part of your body. The kundalini energy for centuries. Chakras, spinal columns, Bibles, insane asylums, kidnap the hospital, get popsicles, walk on the floor made of crystal, sunlight hit it, beaming through the stained glass temple. Up right corner.
First of all, like I said, we're trying to get you to start thinking 98% of your biblical scriptures are talking about on the inside other than the outside. You see, because your biblical scriptures came from where? It came from the Kabbalistic scriptures. And your Kabbalah is what? The tree of life, the autonomy of the body of God, which also comes from Egypt, which I'll show you the actual picture of the Kabbalah coming off the walls of Egypt of the temple of Como-Ombo. And this is the same tree of life with the 10 Sephiras, the same tree of life, and that comes from the temple of Como-Ombo in Kemet. So this predates the Hebrew Kabbalah, but we understand now that the Hebrews was nothing but northern Ethiopians, and it was all black people, and it was different schools, just like you got a Clark, a Morehouse, a Morris Brown, where you would have Dendera, you would have Philae, you would have schools in Ethiopia. So we're talking about a whole educational system, which they did not discriminate against each other, saying, oh, your God is foul and this God is that. It was all one God. And you're talking about different schools of theology that later time we misconstrue as a war against as far as different gods and one God becoming corrupt. That's the biggest bullshit ever. This is the Kabbalah. This is the tree of life. As you can see, this is Kever, which is the top scale. This is you down here. You are the lowest, you are the root. But anything is the root is the most primal or the most potent. You are the lowest, so therefore you are the lowest, but on the other hand, because you are low, the other planets are waiting on you. Because if you understand the Kabbalah, the root chakra rises to the top. Now remember, this is just like your body. Just like you have your Kundalini chakra, which rises to the top, to Keter, which is your crown chakra. So he says that You are the highest deity in the omniverse.
Underneath the being descended from Mayan ruins. Larry Hoover's finest, the Malcolm X of the music. Ain't walking in your purpose, then while you walking, you're useless. Divine love, but you can call it Cosmic Kama Sutra. I'm waking up the planet while spitting the face of these racists who be trying to vaccinate us, but